Welcome to the Leading Lady series of Dataquest. Sheryl Sandberg once said that no industry or country can reach its full potential until women reach their full potential. This is especially true of science and technology, where women with a surplus of talent still face a deficit of opportunity. It is with this spirit that we started the Leading Lady series. Since strong women inspire other women, it has been our endeavor to bring forward stories of women who made a mark in the IT industry. Today, it's an absolute pleasure to have with us Ms. Preeti Singh. Preeti has been in the industry for over 15 years and has been associated with companies like HCL Technologies, Aviva, and Access Risk Consulting in the past. She is a highly self driven and motivated information security personnel with a diverse background, managing IT security teams while maintaining a consistent track record of driving increased level of productivity and improved security landscape. Hi, Preeti. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you for being a part of DataQuest Leading Lady series.
Thank you, Supriya. Thank you so much for inviting me here. This
It's
is
our
really a great place, I will say, to present myself and motivate females to come and join the technology industry.
it's our pleasure, Preeti. So, like you said, we want to motivate other females to take up STEM career, but it's easier said than done. So, how has your journey been in the STEM industry?
So, I will say I'm into technology security industry for more than a decade now. I started when there was a very few women the part of the technology. So my journey was like I started as an analyst, and then now I'm basically heading technology risk and governance vertical for like one of the financial institute. So I'll say when I was new to information and cyber security leader role, that was I was pretty quite I'll say nervous, and to how I will meet my responsibilities, because I was surrounded by most of the male colleagues, or I will say the senior. And I initially did not have my own opinion, because see, I was always on doubt on my capabilities, because that was the first time when in my organization itself that some lady was into that particular role. But I will say everything has changed when I started realizing that this is not about a male or female. It is all about your self ability, how you can evaluate the things, how you will take decision by your own. So for that, I will say I started learning about everything that is happening in this sector across the world, and basis which I started my search and putting forward my points. And that's the point why I built the confidence for myself, and that's how my journey has started. So I must say my journey so far is fantabulous. I have always enjoyed setting goal for myself, and then putting my thought process around it to achieve it. So I will say I have broken the myth that a woman cannot be a good information and cybersecurity leader or a technology leader. If you work on a right direction, and if you are sorted and you keep on learning, I think you can make a difference and you can be a good security leader. That's how my journey all about so far in technology industry.
Thank you so much for that, introduction, Preeti. It was really great, and thank you for mentioning the part of self-doubt. I think we all have this imposter syndrome. So, talking about imposter syndrome, right? The pandemic only made it worse. We had to juggle like multiple things, and there was no help from anywhere. So, how was the pandemic for you? I mean, you being in such a high-pressure job, how was the pandemic for you, and how did you deal with it?
uh, I will say the pandemic has impacted all of us very badly, professionally, personally, especially to women, I will say. In the office, it was like the for most of the organization that we were not like used to of the work from home. And the same time that women who were working in the office, all of a sudden they got a lot of pressure from their home as well, because they has to manage both office work as well as the household chores, and house help was also not there due to the COVID scenarios. So that point of time, as I will say a team leader, or as a head of certain vertical, it was become my responsibility, to provide a kind of a environment where your colleagues they feel safe, less mental pressure, as well as we lay down some kind of I will say the the difficult rules related to like the timings. We provided some kind of a flexibility that I think by adopting all these changes we were able to operate successfully. At the same time, we have given the personal space to our female employees. We did understand their difficulties as home. And similar this, I think this is for me as well, because my management did the same with me. It's not about the male leader or the female leader. I think everybody has understood the challenges of corporate challenges along with the household challenges that we were facing, and basis which we did certain changes. And I will say the employees management became one of the biggest focus area for us. We try to set up a culture where like the mental well-being and the work-life balance was the key priority for us. And I think that will be continue to we will keep on supporting in a similar way, because now we are working in a hybrid model, though it's not a complete work from home, but yes, a hybrid model is pretty much similar to that. So that's how we came across a lot of challenges. And by putting the right efforts on mental well-being and the work-life balance of an employee, we basically cope up with this particular situation. Yeah, but definitely it was a challenging one.
Yeah, thank you, Preeti. I mean, like you mentioned, now, most of the companies are working in the hybrid model, but the future is unknown. And for women, it's still,
Right.
they're still juggling a lot of things right now, because you never know when another new guideline might come and the kids may stay back. So, what, according to you, must companies do to help women employees overcome the situation?
I will say the COVID pandemic has impacted every aspect of our life, including the way we work to manage daily household chores. So women have been, especially I will say, hard hit due to the work from home scenario. So employers have supported. I think they have already did. I mean, they supported female employees for more focusing on looking after their well-being, mental health, and finding new ways to provide work-life balance. We take away many of the strict rules and any tendencies of micromanagement that has created a more relaxed and I will say trusting environment for women. So if I talk about that if this scenario will keep go for long. So I think we should create a kind of a cultural environment within the organization where we should give priority to both the corporate role and responsibilities. At the same time, by providing the flexibility on the working hours, so as well as by leaning down some kind of strict policies where you put like the penalties if the working hours are not meeting, or there are organizations they are doing the micromanagement by putting certain kind of tools within the system to track their availability and all that stuff. So I think we should provide some kind of an leniency here that definitely will create a good a healthy environment within the organization. At the same time, we can give a more productive we can add more productiveness to the organization. So that's how I think this is what my thought process, and this is how I am managing my team, and I expect the same from other employers as well.
That's great to know, Preeti. I mean, all these things should actually become a norm now that you've, mentioned it. So, Preeti, these have been COVID-induced changes for most companies. But for female
Right.
employees, there's always a certain challenge. I mean, they're considered the primary caregivers. So, what, according to you, should companies make the norm when it comes to female employees, COVID or no COVID?
I think the female life is totally different. Female is just not an employer. They are a mother, they are a wife, and at the same time, they are like the employee of an company. So I think by allowing flexible working hours along with the work from home or the hybrid working model, in addition to having a right policy and flexibility, I will say the flexible working options in place. This also means that cultivating the workplace culture that support employees taking advantage of flexible working policies without any fear of career penalties. Without this support culture, I think it is unlikely that the flexibility working will not be fully embedded within the business. So the right set of policies should be there, so that the term that we call flexible environment, it can be properly embedded to the organization. The second one is reward and recognition and the promotion process. When we are doing or assessing any role responsibility during the promotional activity or during the reward and recognition activity, I think we should be unconscious biased with the females, that that the females are like equally good as the male. In technology industry, there are certain roles where 24/7 support is needed, right? Or there are certain roles when weekend supports are needed. So in that scenario, I have seen cases where people are considering that female cannot do a great job there. But I think that is the myth. It's all about perception. We should give equal opportunities to female as well, and I'm sure that females can do wonders here as well. The least but the last but not the least point that I will say, create diversity. I mean, we keep on saying that we are hiring diversity within our team, but ideally this is not happening. I think from HR to leadership, we should cultivate diversity culture in the technology. um, I was reading one article where it was from 19 or 18. The number of women employer has changed from like 10% to 15% to, like, it's now the range is 25 to 30%. But I must say, maybe in different areas, because there are a lot of professions, but especially in technology, information, and cybersecurity, the percentage is still not up to 30%. In a team of like 100 people, I can barely see two or three females who are working into this field, and barely, I think, among 100 leaders there is one or two leaders into security. So that's how the diversity percentage in industry. So as a leader or as HR leaders, we need to focus more on creating diversity in this role, and then only I will say we can say that the diversity culture is basically cultivating in corporate world. So I think that's are the 3 points that I definitely want to mention, that every company has to take as an initiative, so that the female employee will feel I will say motivated, and they will get more opportunities into technology field.
Preeti, thank you so much for mentioning that, there are only two out of 100, especially in the security field, there are only two women. I mean, that makes your story all the more inspiring. I mean, you're a leader now, you're in a leadership position. So, did you at all, I mean, you mentioned the unconscious bias also. So, did you face any challenges while climbing, the ladder towards leadership? And what is your leadership style?
Um, I will say, if I say about my leadership style, I mean, I will say the commitment towards work, working in collaboration, communication with the team. That's the regular communication. Humbleness, I think, is also very needed, and trusting your team members, like the way of my leadership style. I always try to delegate tasks to those who are like the skilled person within the team. I always, communicate my expectations as well as the objective of the task very clearly at the beginning of the project. That only not, reduce the mistakes, or I will say the rework. At the same time, I think effective communication always help me, to complete my project on time, save a lot of time on correction. And sometimes it happens you are not properly communicating things in the beginning, and that may lead to the rework. So advanced communication that I always emphasize on. uh, if I say the challenges, I got leadership role at a very young age. So I was heading information security, I will say the CISO vertical for one of the insurance company. I faced lots of challenges over there, but there were certain key challenges that I faced. One was like the acceptability of being ambitious. So it's like a perception, or I don't know, but yes, there is a saying that if women, they are too much ambitious, maybe they are not good at managing the family. So I think this was the one thing that I was keep on hearing, but this is completely baseless, I will say. We play so many roles in our life, and that is why in Indian, I will say, mythology, we female called as a shakti. So this was the thing that I faced, that the people were unable to accept that I'm too ambitious, and this was not at the corporate level, maybe this was at the family level. Second thing that I started facing was like the trust on myself, on my capabilities. There were so many internal and external barriers were there who used to demotivate me, and that led to me, that I was keep on losing my self confidence. I was not able to express my ideas in front of the leaders. For women in business, it may be a challenging to trust in the unique aspects of female executive presence and acknowledge them as a personal and I will say the organizational asset. Uh, but there was some challenging times being in a male dominating environment, but challenges is well underway, and now the changes are happening. The acceptability of female in the organization is coming up, and I think we can be the part of the future of the technology. So in my life, the mantra is, I think, be confident on your capabilities, find out the ways, because no one come and they will give you a smooth path. So you should find out your own ways, that where you want to go and how, and then I think go for it. That's how basically, you can create a space for yourself in any industry.
No, thank you so much, Preeti, especially for sharing your challenges. I mean, none of us are invincible. I'm sure your story will inspire so many other girls. So, talking about inspiration, if there is a young girl now who's considering taking up a career in STEM, what advice would
Right.
you give her?
So, and, as I previously mentioned, that for female, the time has changed now. The more and more females they are coming into technology, but I think still there is an embedded belief that women are not technical, which is from years of ingrained misconception, I will say. So we have to start by empowering women, building their confidence in the technology sector, and showing them that they do belong here. So for that, I think I have certain suggestions, and it start from education in the technology. Even being a leader, I want to hire a diversity within my team. Suppose I want to hire 10 people, and out of 10 my diversity percentage is that I want to go for the 30%. Out of 10 I want 10, 3 people as a female, or maybe 5 people as a female. But the but the scene at the scenario is that in industry, the skilled people are not available. So even if you want a diversified profile, you don't have skill resources. So that is why I'm saying education in technology is very important. Education will play a big role, with more women presenting at school, learning IT courses, and being involved in creating the more diverse and exclusive syllabus. This will build diversity into the system itself. So start from parents. They has to encourage their female daughters that they should go into the science and technology. Then the husband they should motivate their wives that they can opt any of the career, even if there is challenges in the time, that they are with them for their support. So I think education is in technology is very important. Then I will say the right mentorship. What happened that people are not aware about that what technology is all about. Technology is not only about the coding or doing the desktop support. It has thousands of professional professions within technology, information, and cybersecurity. What do you need? You just need a right mentor. There are a lot of mentorship programs are going around, and those can boost the confidence, knowledge, and the career progression of a female. So I think we should identify the right mentor, take the help of your mentor, and then choose the right path into the technology and the security. And I will say the continuous learning or the improvement. So technology is something that is changing every second day. There is security landscape is changing, so it is very important for us to stand up to date with whatever the latest technology is coming to the world. That will not only boost your knowledge, at the same time it will give you a confidence that you are working with the time. So whatever the time has changed, what technology is there, what security is needed to manage the technology. So that's why I'll say the continuous learning is something that is very much needed. But at last, I really want to mention that believe in yourself. Women can do wonders in any field. That's why I will say there are a lot of women. They are leading a lot of big organization. If you say Roshni Nadar, she is the chairman of SL Technologies. Then there are other leading ladies, Mrs. I will say, I just forgot the name. I mean, the Iron Lady who's leading the PepsiCo. So there are a lot of women. They are already created a mark in the organizations. So we just need to believe in ourselves and just move forward. That's how that's how a female can basically survive in any of the industry.
Yeah, thank you so much, Preeti, for sharing your journey and for predominantly bringing out the message that women need to believe in themselves first. If they want to
Right.
be leaders. Yes, that was really a very
True.
good point. And I'm sure a lot of women who watch this video, right, they'll be inspired by your journey, by your story. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking time out for us.
Thank you, Supriya. Thank you so much for your time as well. It was nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.